The Cheating Death Podcast is a satirical program containing objective information about anything and everything under the sun. We are a transparent, non-partisan, straight-to-the-point program in which provides you with the information that you seek without any of the filters that are prevailing in media today. For, dear listener, you understand the world is a completely turbulent whirlwind of both emotions, socioeconomic strife, and infrastructure that is completely breaking down. But does that mean that we need to do what they ask us to do? Absolutely not. And you know this well because you have chosen to listen to the Cheating Death Podcast. On today's episode of the Cheating Death Podcast, we provide insight on stage confidence. Now, how that looks to you versus how it looks to us may differ slightly, but it remains the same. Hopping on stage, having a microphone in your hand, and being able to perform in the way that you so shall see fit. We also provide an all-new Annihilation Announcement, an all-new joke of the episode, and a top 5 list of our current favorite 1990s Euro songs. So, without further ado, dear listener, you know by now exactly what you must do, for you have chosen once again to dive down the rabbit hole of the most completely apathetic, two-partisan view podcast that is known to man, for we care about the soul, not control, and all we ask that you do is grab your iced coffee, put your feet up, and let us tell you how you can cheat death. This is your news anchor, the Cleric of Chaos, and this is your Annihilation Announcement. Ask yourself, where are you now versus where you were 10 years ago? Is it in a place of benevolence? Are you proud of where you are? Have you looked towards the sun for answers in a place where only the clouds dwell? These ideas, these notions, these particular points of emphasis that we place upon ourselves, we would be completely remiss if we did not mention the difficulty, the struggles, the burdens, the power, the discourse between the mind and the body, between the thought and the action. You see, there are so many excuses that we provide ourselves over the course of time, and we could do so much better, dear listener. We can ask ourselves questions that have litanies of answers, but we only have to pick one when it comes down to the implementation phase. How is it that we have reached a point in life to where so many are suffering, but yet there are so few people in whom are willing to do anything to help out their fellow man, to provide a sense of community, a sense of belonging? to ultimately do their very best to identify within their particular points exactly what can be done. It doesn't really make sense, does it? How we choose to live our lives in a way that is so destructive and so completely annihilated is just beyond comprehension. We don't know for sure exactly how and why life is the way it is completely structured, both socioeconomically, financially, socially, and in terms of the overall mindset, in terms of the mentality. There are a litany of things that we can do as people to help make life a little bit easier for ourselves, a little bit better, regardless of the state that you find yourself in. Whether you are in a calamity-filled state, or whether or not you are in a position that is requiring of a significant amount of energy that you may not have, the result still ends up being the same. It's either going to be a positive or a negative one. And you could epitomize and identify the gray areas all you wish. But regardless of where you find yourself on this proverbial spectrum, you have to know, dear listener, that you fight with every single ounce of fiber and grain and strength that you have. You give yourself space, time, questions, and moments to where very few will be able to match or replicate, because it is your life, it is your time. And at the end of the day, all we ask is that you do your best. This has been your news anchor, the Cleric of Chaos, and this is your Annihilation Announcement. Willkommen, meine Freunde. Guten Morgen, guten Tag und eine gute Nacht. Hier ist deine Reisende und deine Ausländer, deine Allesfresser, deine Schauspieler, deine Venestre, es viral. Wir vermehren das Licht, es ist ausgegessen und ich bin bereit, und heute ist ein schöner Tag. Dear listeners, stage confidence is a very, very fickle topic and is subjective to quite a few different people. So as you move forward and as you are listening to this program, understand this. These suggestions from herein do not necessarily apply universally to each and every single soul that walks on this bright blue earth, but it can provide a foundation, a template, a way of understanding, and a way of meaning in a world that is far beyond the state of apathy as it pertains to the artistic endeavors and the social endeavors of people. You have an opportunity to go onto a stage and tell some jokes. You are given 3 to 5 minutes, and you have several jokes and several bits written down. You've practiced them. You have performed them in front of your friends and in front of your family ad nauseum. You have done everything that you possibly could to ensure that you are prepared. You then enter the venue on the evening and or the afternoon of your particular performance, and all of a sudden it's all gone. You remember the days when you were in college and university and you would prepare for a test or an examination. All that information would be stuffed in and internalized, and you would be ready to provide it at will, only for it to disappear the moment the bell drops and the pencil hits the paper. Similarly, in entertainment, in theater, in comedy, in music, in live performances, all alike, your benevolent host has experience in all of them. And note that your benevolent host here has failed a little bit here and there, has not hit the mark here and there, but yet he still keeps trying. He still keeps moving forward. He still keeps waging war on mediocrity and everything else herein. Why? Because it is the only option to move forward in such a way to where stage confidence becomes the confidence of the mind, to understand exactly how it is that we as people come to know and come to idealize ourselves within a way that others don't necessarily view us. We are way too harsh on ourselves as it pertains to the opportunities that we are given when we get on stage, right before we get on stage. How does one build upon that? How does one go on that stage without being paralyzed with fear or nervousness? And dear listener, It's a far bit more rudimentary than you think. Listening to your audience before you get on stage, observing how they react and how they respond to certain things and to certain jokes and or certain performances. Making your audience feel comfortable and at home. Not trying to be edgy specifically for the sake of being edgy, as more often than not that will be met with hostility. Do not do that. When you get up on that stage and you're about to perform a song, you're about to perform some jokes, you're about to do some things that you are very happy with and very pleased about, remember that you, dear listener, are a very important part of this particular venue, of this performance array, of this aspect of life. For without you going on that stage and plying your craft, sure, there may be somebody else that may inevitably take your spot, but they will not be able to provide the same insight, the same delivery, the same pitching mechanics as you do. You ask yourself exactly how to separate yourself from the group, how to be unique in a world of boilerplate solutions. Just be yourself. Literally, that's it. Just be who you are. Your audience will see through any sort of fallacy, any sort of untruth or imperfection, and realistically, they're not coming to see you to see a facade. They are not coming to you to see a boilerplate example of what they just saw 2 weeks ago or what they can get on YouTube. No, they are coming to see you. And how you build upon your stage confidence is literally just continuing to do it over and over and over and over and over again. If it is a hobby for you, tremendous. Go when you feel. Do what you can. However, if you are looking to monetize it, and if you are looking to make it a fairly livable situation for yourself, you just have to keep going. You just have to keep getting all the stage time that you possibly can. Do everything you possibly can to contribute to the venues, whether it be staying for the whole performance for every comedian, every musician, buying some alcohol or some beverages or some merchandise at the venue of choice, or flat out just being there for people. Because art in this current day and age is so underappreciated that we need to take time to focus on not only what we bring to the table, but how we can make the scene better. And dear listener, how you can build your stage confidence, one day at a time, one joke, one song, one pitch, one melody, one punchline at a time. Do what you can, for you are strong, you are capable, and you will succeed. But we're not telling you anything that you don't already know. And until next time, dear listeners, thank you for tuning in today. Take care of yourselves and each other. Today's joke has been brought to you by the Cleric of Chaos. More often than not, people will state that someone is a really good judge of character, and someone is able to identify and pinpoint the specifics as to whether or not a person is really a decent human being. But I would hearken to disagree, for most of these people don't even have a law degree. At the top of today's episode, we promised you a list of our top 5 favorite Euro dance, Europop themes of the 1990s. And without further ado, let us dive right in. Coming in at number 5, we have The Sign by Ace of Base. Coming in at number 4, we have Move Your Body by Eiffel 65. Coming in at number 3, we have Only Time by Enya. Coming in at number 2, we of course have Blue Dabba Dee by Eiffel 65. And of course, coming in at number 1, a tie for number 1, ATC and Daft Punk's Around the World. What are your top 5 favorites? Email us at thecheatydeathpodcast@gmail.com. How we analyze and how we present ourselves on stage and in the public light is completely separate for some people than what it would be via a standard to their friends, their families, their workplaces, their jobs, their very existence outside of a particular venue or outside of an avenue of performing and responding in a brilliantly cool and calm and collected manner when you are on stage, whether it be in music or in comedy. But we have been looking at it all wrong, dear listener. For you see, it isn't necessarily a lack of confidence that brings you to that particular point. It is a lack of belief in oneself that really truly makes it so difficult for those in whom struggle with stage presence to really truly fully command all of their skills, all their gifts, and all their attributes. We ask ourselves, how is it that we can get to such a place in the world when we get on stage and a microphone in our hand, we are fully prepared, fully ready to go, and then the butterflies hit, or you immediately get locked inside of your own mind and inside of your own apprehension? These questions are asked and answered in a way that we do not necessarily formulate nor identify a particular solution. We instead focus on the dramatic. We focus on, oh gosh, what if they don't like me? Oh gosh, what if I say the wrong thing? Instead of just realizing that, like you, they're just another human being. The only difference is that they are sitting and or standing in front of you, while you are providing the entertainment. You are providing the time-killing solution. You are doing absolutely everything that you possibly can. Note that this is not an easy way for people to be, function, operate, identify, or even quantify their level of capability when it comes down to their overall times, feelings, situations. It's perfectly understandable, dear listener, how sometimes, even in these situations, you are not going to be able to answer every question right away. Stage fright, that particular feeling that you get when you're about to hop on stage, and it feels almost paralyzing. You feel really, really nervous. You feel a little bit concerned. Once it gets to a point in your life when you no longer feel that nervousness, you no longer feel that edge, you no longer feel that concern, it may be time for you to pursue a different avenue, a different route, a different option. But as we know, life is not an easy way out or in. You, me, all of us, we were granted the gift of the galactic lottery to exist where we are in this point in time, regardless of how much calamity and turbulence fill the atmosphere and fulfill every single day, every single element of life. We have been given a golden opportunity to go on stage and present ourselves in a way that would be entertaining, humorous, empathetic, considerate, compassionate, theatrical, and so on. Embrace your skill. Look for a brighter tomorrow. And if you just so happen to get on a stage regularly and ply your craft, consider yourself lucky. You have people who believe in you. You have people who are willing to give you time at their venue, at their location, at their establishment, because they believe in your possibilities and capabilities to entertain the proverbial masses. Don't ever let that go. Always try to figure out exactly what it is that you can do to build towards a brighter tomorrow. And you will see, in the end, that you either have it or you don't. And it's okay. Either way, one day, you will see exactly how the game is to be played, regardless of whether or not that means you succeeded and you continue to move forward, or you tried and failed. Either which way, you will not know until you give your very best. And ultimately, at the end of the day, if you are in Toronto, Ontario, Canada, there are plenty of places to where you can ply your craft, to where you can find a beautiful place to practice, to build, to get reps in, so to speak. And admittedly, we would like to recommend that you go on over and you subscribe, follow, like, and share the Backroom Comedy Club at instagram.com/backroomcomedyclub, and give yourself an opportunity to truly see exactly what you can do. Identify the specific points as to exactly how you are going to be able to move forward, and ask yourself the questions that no one dares ask. How is it possible that you have reached this particular point? You did it. You were the one that took care of it. You are the one who made it happen. So, what we do and what we suggest may differ from person to person, but we also highly recommend that you visit at Comedy Dojo Toronto. This is an absolutely phenomenal opportunity for you to learn how to perform on stage in comedy, where and how to make improvements, how to write a joke, and how to configure things. We also highly recommend that you go on over to Brando Jokes at Instagram.com/BrandoJokes. My good friend Brandon Sobel, one of the most interesting, most entertaining, and one of the most philanthropic comedians out there. If you're looking at getting into comedy, that's where you should give yourself a head start if you are in Toronto. And if you are looking at getting started in the music industry and you just want to do open mics and you want to see exactly how you can get better and better and better and better and better and better, visit the Free Times Cafe on College Street in Toronto, Ontario, Canada. Head on over to El Macambo, talk to Mike, see as to whether or not there is space to get in there. It's very, very easy to rent a space there and to end up playing. I'd also highly recommend that you visit the Catacombs on Queen Street West, Dystopia on Queen Street West, and if we are looking at one of the greatest venues, most fun little venues, head on over to Firkin on Yonge, and head on over to one of the brightest and most beautiful music venues that also takes on people fairly regularly, and that is Tall Boys on Bloor Street West. So, dear listener, whether or not you handle your stage fright and or your confidence is completely up to you. Whether it be comedy, whether it be music, whether it be anything else, you have the strength within you. And until next time, take care of yourselves and each other. The Cheating Death Podcast is brought to you by Nach dem Leben CRDVC, Cleric of Chaos, and where you can find all podcasts on all platforms. If you'd like to support the program, you may do so by buying us a coffee, purchasing some merchandise, or buying a cameo with the links in the episodes and in the podcast description. Follow us at youtube.com/@Cleric of Chaos, where we are trying to reach 100 subscribers before the end of the summer. Always follow our social media in the pin profile posts and the links in the episodes and podcast description as well. Please take a moment to follow our comedian friends, Alex Burke at Instagram.com/AlexBurkeComedy, Damon Charles over at Instagram.com/Damon, DAMON.Charles, Will Daniels at Instagram.com/Lift4Kids, KIDZ, and Darren Burke as well over at Instagram.com/DarrenBurkeComedy. Nicole Rhiannon, who is one of the most talented comedians this side of the hemisphere, at Instagram.com/hot_mama.scholar. This is also an address to lifting liaison, powerlifting, and professional wrestler extraordinaire Douglas Mallow over at Instagram.com/just_the_epic. And of course, each and every single one of our friends in the pinned profile posts on the links in the episodes and in the podcast description. Remember to find yourself in a position to where you are looking for a brighter tomorrow and you're going through some calamity and experiencing some duress. Do not worry, dude. We will provide you with some information, all linked in the episodes and the podcast description. If you are experiencing gambling abuse, substance withdrawal, domestic violence, suicidal thoughts and or inclinations, drug and alcohol abuse, and much, much more, you may visit the links in the episodes and in the podcast description and the telephone numbers listed therein. If you are looking at adopting a playful puppy or a cute kitten, please visit your local animal adoption rescue center, as they are always in dire need of your support. And please visit yummypets.com/voice, sign up for a free account, and click the button every day to ensure that cats, dogs, and shelter animals alike are given an opportunity to receive a free kibble in the amount of 330 pounds. Dear listener, we note that life is not easy. It is not ever going to become a little bit more simple as the days grow. We ask ourselves many questions, but we don't provide ourselves with the answers. We allow ourselves to seek them, challenge ourselves, and embrace life for what it is. And do not worry, you are well on your way. And remember, we're pulling for you. We're all in this together.